All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast centre and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, on the CanCom Broadcast Network and on your hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ AM, streaming us at classic1220.ca. And this hour, X Zone Nation, we step beyond logic into the world of intuition and higher awareness with my very special guest this hour, the one and only Holly Hall. And Holly is the founder of AskHollyHall.com. And for over a couple of decades, Holly has helped people across the globe uncover their purpose, navigate love, career, and destiny, and awaken their connection to universal consciousness. Universal unconsciousness. Geez, I don't know about that. Joining me now from somewhere out there is our good friend, Holly Hall. And Holly, welcome back to the X Zone. Where is Holly? Let's see, where's Holly? Holly, are you there?
Here I am.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, my mic was turned off.
I thought maybe you were abducted by aliens or something.
No, I was in this unconscious universe.
Oh, sorry about that.
Being on your show. You know that. I think someone turned it off. I didn't think it was me, but here I am.
Here you are, and we're glad to have you back with us, Holly. How have you been since you and I last chatted not that long ago?
Oh, traveling wheelberries and traveling gypsy. So we've been all over the place. Went through the United States, did some woo-woo conferences, about to do another woo-woo conference in a couple of weeks, going through the States again, went out west. Yeah.
My goodness.
I love it.
It's a lot of traveling. Yeah. Holly,
busy
for
with science.
the listeners who may not have had the opportunity or pleasure, I should say, of listening to you the last time you were here, how did you first discover your intuitive and psychic abilities?
I was told when I was 13, actually, but I was looking for concrete evidence because I'm a scientific mind by nature. And at 21, somebody introduced me, actually the most unexpected person introduced me to the only way to learn astrology 101. Never really thought about astrology, thought I would be good at it. And he wasn't wrong because I couldn't put the book down. I'm going to age myself. It was back in the day, probably just maybe a month or two actually, before I got my first computer. And I had to do everything by hand. Like there's a 2.5-page sort of long division to line up where all the planets were the day you were born. The same thing an astronomer would do, or back in the day, what a ship mate might do when you're sailing a ship. And the rest is history. I just love it. I've been endorsed by several leading people in the psychology industry, in the mainstream self-help industry, and it's really helped catapult me. And during that time, all my psychic abilities came, my remote viewing came. I became really fascinated in past life, so I got certified in past life regression hypnosis therapy, got certified in neurolinguistic programming. I took psychology at University of York in Toronto. So I thought I'm like the perfect life coach because I can just wrap all this up and see everyone for who they are and why they're here.
So how does being a life coach work using all the gifts that you have that are usually attributed to the paranormal?
Yeah, absolutely. It helps me when I look at somebody's chart. A lot of people just think sun signs, but you're not. You're way more than your sun sign. There's over 3,000 different combinations. When I'm reading a chart, there's every single zodiac sign is in the chart in its own mathematical formation. And I read that like a language, literally like a language. And as I'm reading it, I start getting downloads. So the first time I meet you, you don't have to spend 2 or 3 or 4 sessions with me while I get to know who you are and what you're all about. I literally spend the first 10 minutes telling you what I already see, who you are, what your childhood was like, why you birthed yourself into that childhood with those parents, what your gifts are, what your challenges are here to upgrade in this lifetime. And by the time I'm finished that 10-minute spiel, most people's jaws are dropped. They're just like, you just explain me better than I can explain myself to myself. And it just helps catapult the whole, whatever they want to work on. A lot of people want to work on blocks. They want to work on manifesting. They've got troubles in their marriage. They're struggling with their relationship with their kids. They still have childhood trauma. I get to look at their chart and their parents' chart to see what the different personalities are. And then there's windows of opportunity. Astrologically, we can look into the future where there's windows of opportunities to let go of blocks that are holding you back, and also take advantage of opportunities that can get you the dream job and have you have a better relationship with your partner and have a good connection with your kids.
All right. So how does all this work with the planets? Because, you're looking up at the sky at night and you see the planets and you say, oh, that's nice. And yet you can interpret the planets, how they affect me, how they affect my wife, how they affect our kids, how they affect everybody. What was it like the first time you did an astrological chart for somebody and you were bang on?
That actually kind of scared me for a bit off of doing it as a career. I did it for a neighbor. She wanted to know about her son.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I just printed it all out, what I had read. I talked to her about what I printed out. And it's an edited version. I didn't have a program that did it for me. I actually typed it all out myself. And he found it by accident. She was like, oh my gosh, you're bang on. But he was really introverted. She couldn't get through to him. He was like 21 years old. I was like 26, maybe no, 24. I can't remember. But he was a few years younger than I was. And he was really upset. It was so accurate. It scared him. It freaked him out. He was upset. He didn't understand why I would know all this about him. Because he didn't even share anything with his mom. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Now, months later, he did come to me and was more inquisitive and wanted to know more. And it was really helpful to get him out of his rut because he was in a bit of a rut. But yeah, I've had some pretty freaky situations with clients, but all of them are happy when they hear it. They're just surprised that I know what I know.
Do you find that there's been a big change in the paranormal industry since COVID?
Yeah, because just before COVID came, I was downloaded that I had to write this book. So I wrote 101 Answers from the Universe and literally just got question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. And a lot of the questions were from me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would get the answers from source. And it was before COVID. It was like August, this summer of 2019. And the subtitle I was told to call it was Eyes Wide Open. I didn't know why. Now, when COVID hit, eyes were wide open. I mean, people were forced to see things that they didn't want to see, they didn't want to experience. And ever since then, I feel like it's just been full-on disclosure. The thing that I find really fascinating is that I'd found out that in the Ethiopian calendar,
mm-hmm.
we were actually in 2012. In 2020.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting. Holly, stand by. Exonation Holly Hall is our special guest. Her website, askhollyhall.com. And we'll both be back as we continue here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, on the CanCom Broadcast Network and your hometown radio, Classic 1220, streaming us at classic1220.ca.
Washington nights, a child looked up through the veil of lights, whispers of wonder, signs from afar, calling the soul from a distant star. In a garden where the mantis prayed, woke in the glow of the Antarean heart. The Antarean heart is calling through the silence, through the stars, with the mantis beings guiding, healing all the wounds and scars. From Antares comes the message, love is where the journey starts. Open your mind, remember your soul, and awaken the Antarean heart.
Holly Hall is my special guest of this hour, X-Zone Nation, www.askhollyhall.com. Holly, what is the origin of astrology?
I'm so glad you asked this, Rob. It is literally 2,500 years old, more than 2,500 years old. It can even go back as early as 4,000 to 5,000 years old. And astrology is one of the oldest continuous practice symbol systems in human history. Its traditions go like across several civilizations and millennia. So it goes anywhere from the Babylonian to Greek astrologers, as well as Egypt, Ethiopian, and then the Vedic is about 2,000 years old. And they've been studying all the symbols since then. There's a lot of them were priests. Some of them were pastors. There's roots that go as far as, like I said, 5,000 years. And all of this symbolism that we follow is handed down, passed down from the ones that had started researching it centuries ago.
What are some of the main symbols that you study?
The planets are one of them. So each planet has its own symbol. And it goes from, well, there's the sun and the moon, which isn't planets. And then there's Earth, but we don't study Earth. Some do. Some astrologers study the Earth. But there's Mercury, Mars, Venus, and then there's Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. We still use Pluto. And some people even use the 13th sign, the zodiac. And then all of these planets go through zodiac systems, which are 12 zodiac systems. Everyone knows those, from Aries to Pisces. And that goes throughout the year. And that's what we study, is we draw this circle of a map, and we can see what each planet goes through, which house system it goes through. House systems represent something like your job, your career, your health, your marriage, relationships, subconscious, etc., childhood. And then the planets represent different parts of our emotions. Like Mercury is our mind and our thinking and our processing of thoughts and communication. And Venus is love and desire and what we want. Mars is how do we take action on that. The moon is our emotions and sometimes our childhood and our past lives. And then there's the larger planets that we look at how it connects. Like, so for instance, if the moon and Neptune were really close together from our visual point of view, because obviously they're not, the moon's not that far from Earth and Neptune's really light years away from Earth, but visually they're in the same location. And we look at that, that means something. That tells me somebody is either, can suffer from depression, depending on the signs, can be very psychic and intuitive, can be a healer. Really depends on what the signs are in as well. So there's a lot of combining. It's like a puzzle, putting it all together perfectly. And each of us have our own distinct puzzle. Now, people are going to say, well, what about twins and people that are born exactly the same time as you? That's where it comes like nature and nurture. If I'm a twin, most likely I'm either specifically Libras and Geminis. Libras and Gemini twins tend to be exact opposite of each other. So they'll do flip side of the same personality. So there's always two sides to a personality, two sides of the coin. And then the other ones, they are very similar in nature. They've even, I don't know if you've seen this, but they've studied twins that were not. They did this awful study actually in the 1970s. I won't go into that one, but they wanted to see what twins would be like separated. And it was phenomenal how much they were alike. Ended up marrying the same girls with the same name on the same date, had the same children, wore the same hairstyle.
My gosh.
There is a lot of connection that way.
How did the ancients find out so much about the stars that we only are able to see with modern telescopes?
That one blows me away. There is a hieroglyphic, that hieroglyph that you can find. I can't remember. It's very, 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 very old. And it has all the planets. Like it has all the sun and the moon and all
Hmm.
10 planets on there. And there's no way that they could visually see that. Now remember, we lived in a dark sky back then, but we could, what do we have? Nothing else to do but stare at the sky at night. So we could see probably all the way up to Saturn, maybe even Uranus or Uranus, but definitely we could see for till Saturn. I don't know how they understood the other three. It's even archaeologically, they're stumped at how would they know that all of, and they knew the zodiacs, and as they had their own zodiac signs as well. They designed the names of the zodiac signs. Some of it is still mind-boggling, like the pyramids, right? Still
Hmm.
mind-boggling.
So, how important is a person's birth chart when you're actually giving guidance about relationships, career, or life direction?
To me, it's very important because it gives me the foundation of who the person is. I can see like, let's say I'm doing your chart and I'm doing your partner's chart, and you're saying we're having a difficult time right now. I can clearly see what is the difficulty and where it's coming from. And often personality conflicts. You may be thinking that your partner is purposely trying to tick you off or
Hmm.
is hurting you and doesn't care. But really, I can look at their chart and go, no, this is not what they're going through. They're going through X, Y, and Z, and they're working through something that happened with their mother when they were younger. And they can almost always they can go, oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. That's what's happening. They take it less personally and they look at it as something that they can get through. This is not a
Hmm.
permanent problem. We can work through this. And I have a great story where I feel like I saved a marriage. That's when I started recognizing I was clairvoyant, or I was doing remote viewing, because they were going on a vacation. They said if they didn't work out on this vacation, which is where they fought a lot, that marriage was going to be over after
Ooh.
that vacation. And I had suggested what they should do on the vacation according to their two different personalities. And they did that, and their marriage was fine after that. She really thought that he just didn't care to do things with her because she was more adventurous. He was really just want to just relax on the beach, and they worked it. And I told them to hire an agent, travel agent, to help them
Hmm.
plan it all out. And it worked out great. They were taking things really personally that had nothing to do with whether they loved each other or not. It was just that they had different personalities.
And each one of them was working through their own issues at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I made reference. I said, let's say that you guys went to the Bahamas and da 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 da, and you wanted to go on a tour, and he wanted to stay on the beach, because I could see their personalities were like that. And she says, "Oh my gosh, Holly, are you serious? Like, we literally went to the Bahamas last month, and that's exactly what happened." And I'd be like, "Uh oh." That's when I realized, okay, I'm remote viewing now the past.
Hmm. What is a soul path reading?
So soul destiny or soul path reading is that you've come into this lifetime, you signed a contract,
Who do we
and there are
sign? Who do we
specific
sign the contract with?
ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, we sign well, and you do sign contracts with your family of a soul family,
Okay.
people that you do spend. It's much more I'm really simplifying it. It's this huge web of mixture of things of why we come back and do what we do. But there are specific things that we want to work on, and it really depends on how far along you are. There are a lot of souls that are here right now that do not have to come to Earth. This is a very precedented time where souls wanted to come, and they wanted to be of service to some of the changes going on, like just universally and on Earth. But yeah, we sign this contracts like, I'm going to learn about addiction, so I'm going to, you know, be in a childhood where my father's an addict and has anger management issues, and possibly I've had that in past lives as well too. And then I'm going to grow up and be a therapist or a doctor or a counselor. but I need to learn about addiction right from the get-go and the effect that it has on family and on individuals. That's kind of one way of looking at a soul contract.
So why would we want to come back? All right, I understand it's to learn, but why would we put ourselves into a no-win situation, like wanting to come back and be homeless, to experience the homelessness, or to be a drug addict? Why would we want to do that, Holly?
There's a collective energy here. So if you look at that, we are all one, and you can do all your own research. There's the law of one, and there's the law of raw as well. But if you look at the fact that we're all one, this part of the universe is disabled, or it is not functioning well. And we could escape, we could completely advance and just go into the heavens and not even care about what's going on here. But it's a huge ecosystem. And we have to care because it's affecting the rest of the ecosystem, even though we're not the cause of it or the blame of it. So we have to keep coming back in order to recalibrate this whole ecosystem, which is basically, some people can call it good or evil. You can call it negative or positive, but it's out of balance. So even though as a human, there's no way in the heck that we're going to come back, as soon as we become back into soul form and we're not attached to our human emotions and ego and fears and desires, we want to come back. We want to come back and help advance our species.
But if this has been going on since the beginning of time, how long will it take? Like, what's the message we're not getting?
Since Atlantis, I think. The message we're not getting is, it's not that we're not getting it, it's that there is a lot of negativity that's taken over in the world, or evil that's taken over the world. And I don't want people to try to point out what the evil is. Like, people right now will go like, oh, it's this politician, or it's this country, or it's this system. That's nothing to do with that. We all have the ability to have evil thoughts or dark thoughts, or have greed or hunger or desire, malice or hate. We all have the ability to do that. And we're trying to balance that all out.
All right, Holly, I've got to take my break.
Yeah.
We're a screwed up bunch of people if we haven't gotten it yet. I don't know if I'd want to come back as a homeless person or an addict or somebody who's in a dysfunctional family, but let's talk more on the other side of this break. This is the X Zone on the CanCom Broadcast Network and on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, CFAJ AM, streaming us at classic1220.ca.
Whispers of wonder, signs. Where the Rockies kiss the midnight sky, ancient whispers never truly die. Through the prairie winds, the echoes call, ghostly shadows dance where night birds fall. Old hotels and silent railway tracks, history keeps calling travelers back. Every heartbeat, every creaking floor seems to hide a story, wanting more. Haunted Alberta, where the spirits roam, every winding road could lead you home. From mountain peaks to the Badlands wide, legends walk where the secrets hide. Hear the whispers carried on the breeze, flowing softly through the trembling trees. If you listen close beneath the stars above, the past still speaks in haunted Alberta.
Holly Hall is our guest this hour, Exonation. Her website is askhollyhall.com. All right, Holly, explain that to me, because I'm sitting here saying, why would I want to come back and put myself through all that pain and anguish? Like, here I am, I'm getting there, and I'm saying, oh, shoot, I got to do it all over again?
We hope that we upgrade a little bit so that the next time around is a bit better. Time is an illusion, right? Time in consciousness is an illusion, and once we're in our soul self, this time on earth was like a blink of an eye. It was like 1 year of school. So you think of one life as grade 1, another life is grade 2, another life is grade 3, and we're one soul having many experiences, which is life after life after life. And sometimes we experience them differently. And some people have shorter lives, some people have longer lives. But what I like about astrology is it's built on the idea that it's not quantity, but it's quality. And astrology tells us what's the nature of this moment. Why are you experiencing this moment? The more that you can live in this moment, which I'm able to do more than I've ever been able to do in the past, is live in the moment. It's not always fun to live in the moment. What happens is we get really caught up in the past, and we get really caught up in expectations, which is the future. And that creates a lot of suffering. So it's not the nature of living this long life. It's about how much are you allowing suffering to be a part of it, or are you trying to avoid the suffering? If you accept that the suffering exists, then you're fine. Like, there's going to be ups and downs. Why would you put yourself through 7 years of school to become a psychologist or a doctor or any kind of schooling, 4 years of schooling to become an electrician? It's not easy. It costs you money. It's hard. You got to pass all these tests. You're nail biting all the way through it, but you do it because you know what the end result is, and that's what you want.
Okay, so how many lifetimes does it take on average for us to finally get to the place where we don't have to come back again?
Well, you can get to a place where you have a choice. Unfortunately or fortunately, people choose to come back. There's thousands of lifetimes. So I want you to look at it as a library with thousands and thousands and thousands of books in this library from floor to ceiling. Each book is a lifetime. The entire lifetime is in that book. But you got to read it page by page to understand the lifetime. You can't just read the last page and go, oh, I'm done. You got to read each page. And that's what one lifetime is like. So it's all there. But you have to go through it in order to experience it and to upgrade. But like I said, it's a huge ecosystem. So we're doing this collectively. Of course, there's the idea that we're living in a simulated universe. And some people might think that that's what we're doing, is we're simulating lifetimes. But I agree with you. I still struggle with the meaning of life too.
But if we're all part of this collective and we're all feeding information into this collective, who's in charge of that collective? And why are they toying with us? Are we feeding them?
There is the energy, like a God energy. There's a God energy, an all-loving energy. I'm not convinced it's a being, but we do want to create a form because we are in form. But I also believe there's all kinds of mastered, gifted, or not so gifted. Well, they're gifted, but they're more, there's a malevolent and a benevolent energy out there. That's all a part of the weaving of where we or our origin. There's a whole disclosure going out now with the UAP, all this disclosure, and they're already apparently talked to 600 pastors and priests around the world, because when this gets exposed, it's going to shake us where we come from. And I don't think it's a bad place, but it's going to shake a lot of people's religion or religious beliefs. I believe that all of the religious beliefs, it was to guide us to be good people, just to be on the side of good.
Right.
Most of them. Who is a master of it? We all are, because we are all every thread in the tapestry. We are each thread. So we're the ones that are the master weavers, all of us.
I've often heard you talk about aligning with one's higher purpose. How can
Right.
listeners identify when they're out of alignment?
Nothing goes right. Honestly, you're not happy, you're not content, things aren't going right. The other person got the job and you were perfectly qualified
Mm,
for it. Just everything seems to go off kilter. Now, even when it's trying to spearhead you into the proper direction, it can feel like everything is going wrong too. So how do you know? You know, as soon as you look, if you're making sacrifices, like I'm keeping this job because I get a good health plan. I'm keeping this job because I have a good paycheck. And where am I going to get paid this well again? If those are your excuses based on fear, and you're miserable at the job and you're not really a great parent or a great partner because of it, you're on the wrong path. But it takes guts, it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of deprogramming because we're really programmed to be consumers.
do
And
you?
we're programmed by a lot of different things.
We certainly are. Do you believe that everything in life happens for a reason, or is there still room for free will in the soul's plan?
Oh, there's absolutely free will. What I like about it is, like, for instance, if I see a timeline for someone in the future, it might be a 1 year timeline, might be
Hmm.
6 months, might only be a few weeks. You have a choice what you do with that timeline. If your doctor says you're diabetic and you need to get healthier, there's 10 of us that could do it in 10 different ways and all achieve the same goal. It's a matter of what is your goal. Your goal is to be, drop your blood sugar and be healthier, maybe drop a few pounds.
Right.
That's your goal. But there's 20 different ways to get there.
But if we come here after writing out a contract with ourselves, wouldn't we know based on the number of times that we've we've passed, come back, what to do and what not to do?
You would think so.
Yeah.
This is what frustrates me the most is that we are supposed to pass this along generation to generation. We're supposed to teach each other that we're healers, that we're telepathic, that we can use Mother Earth to support us in food and nature and calming and medicine. We're supposed to learn this. We're supposed to pass it down to each other, but a lot of systems have come into place to take that away from us, to make us realize or feel or lose it that we don't have these powers and these abilities to have peace and harmony and contentment and pure love amongst each other and in our ecosystem called Earth. If you go out of your way to work on yourself and find where you can find that peace and that love and that stability,
Hmm.
and you're on that path, you're going to be a much happier person, even though you don't have all the money and the finances and the riches or all the loves in your life, and you still have the childhood that you can't change. You can still see that there's a different path. And once you're on it, you're going to be a lot more comfortable while you're on it. But sadly,
Hmm.
we have lost that. And I believe we're in the midst of gaining it all back. Beginning now, we're at the tipping point of taking back our power.
You were talking before about the person who may be doing a job because the money is good, that the benefits are good, the health plan is good, and he's kind of not happy. But if he's a parent and he realizes that what he's doing is for the best of his family, doesn't that account for something?
It does, but there could be 10 other jobs out there that he could get the same money, get the same benefits, but he's too afraid. So what ends up happening? Something could happen with his health, minor or major. He could get fired. The universe says you don't like your job, or are you going to quit, or are we going to get you fired?
All right, but on the other hand, he could get promoted to a better position within the company where he really loves his job.
As long as he's manifesting that, as long as he's telling the boss, I want a promotion, I want to make it up in the world. Sometimes people just sit and wait, and
Hmm.
they don't manifest it for themselves. They don't ask for it. They don't request it. I
So,
can usually see in somebody's chart if there's somebody that can request it, because they don't there's a certain amount of people, about 30% of the people out there that are really hard workers, and they don't ask for raises, but they don't ever get fired because they're good at what they do. Those are the people that can ask for a raise, and they'll get it because nobody wants to lose them as employees.
So is this a part of our society that has failed the workers, where we don't teach them to know their own worth? Or
I'd say
is
it's
it
more cultural.
cultural, eh?
Yeah, it's more of our culture, our westernized culture, because we're being, if you watch the movie Happy, you might be able to find it on Netflix. I know you can find it on YouTube. It's harder to find it in Canada. And it was a documentary where they did research all around the world looking for the happiest people. And the happiest people were the poorest people that lived in like third world
Yeah.
or close to that kind of
Well, they
environment.
have no stress, basically.
They have no stress. They have
Yeah.
big families. They all work together to keep their food on their table and the house. They have no choice, right?
That's right.
And some of them were in the United States too. There was one area where they were in the United States in a poorer part of the states. Yeah.
Holly, stand by. We've got to take our final break. In X Zone Nation, if you'd like to find out more about this very interesting young lady, visit her website, askhollyhall.com. And Holly and I will be back as we wrap up this hour and tonight here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center in St. Catharines on the CanCon Broadcast Network, and of course on your hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ AM, streaming us all over the world, and probably out to a couple of planets, if I know Peter Bordley over there, at classic1220.ca. Don't go away.
Prairie winds, the echoes call, ghostly shadows dance where night birds fall. Old hotels and silent railway tracks. History keeps calling travelers back. Every heartbeat, every creaking floor seems to hide a story, wanting more. Haunted out.
Out beyond the midnight sky, where the silver star trails run, there are lights that move in silence, far beyond the waking sun. Some call them angels descending, some call them ships from the blue. But when they shine through the darkness, they feel like something true. Are they messengers from heaven, or travelers from the stars? Are they watching from the cosmos, knowing who we are? Angels, UFOs, heavenly visitors, lighting up the night with wonder in their eyes. Angels, UFOs, crossing forever between the ancient heavens and tomorrow's skies. Are they wings of light, or fire from above?
And welcome back, everyone. Our guest this hour is the one and only Holly Hall. And if you'd like to find out more about Holly, visit her at askhollyhall.com. Holly, how can people strengthen their connection to their higher self or spiritual guides?
I'm going to toot my own horn, get an astrology reading. Honestly, even if you just get one 15-minute mini reading, they're not that expensive at all. And in that 15 minutes, I'm going to talk nonstop about you and send it to you in an email. And you're going to know yourself more than you've ever known yourself before. And that will put you back on track again, like right away. You know thyself.
Have you ever received messages from the other side that have completely changed your perspective on life?
Yeah. I have. When I was in my 20s, I actually wanted to do more mediumship where I could see people passed on. So I started studying that quite a bit. And then the astrology took over, which is what I was meant to do. So I continued down that road. But the odd time I'm able to reach out to a loved one with a client. They just ask me, and 50% of the time I'm bang on, 50% I'm not. They understand that. It's part of the 1 hour astrology reading I'm doing. And some of them just blow me away. Like they're so accurate. And it made me believe in that there was another side. So I started like studying NDEs, near death experiences, the telepathy tapes. They talk a lot about the other side as well. Even now, there's some with the alien disclosure that they are the other side as well. Some of these experiences that I've had with some of my clients, I can't explain it. So it only tells me that there is something on the other side. Like, how would I know these exact details? I'm not talking about, oh, your aunt had a red car. I'm talking about exact details that I don't know where they come from.
What role, in your opinion, does meditation or mindfulness play in accessing, the accurate, intuitive guidance?
I'm going to say that I don't always practice what I preach. I think meditation is amazing. I tend to zone out quite a bit when I'm just my own day-to-day stuff. When I'm going on hikes and walks, quite a bit I zone out. Mindfulness is something I practice all the time, though. I think that's even more important. If you can't do meditation, then just do mindfulness, where you're really aware of what you're doing. And walking in nature will do that. You have no choice but to be mindful, unless you're plugged in and you're listening to a crazy podcast. But if you can just really be zoned in nature, then, and that's why we like to travel and do new things, because doing something new makes our mind hyper focus on right then and there, what's happening right at that moment. You're not on repeat. So mindfulness is extremely important, especially to know who you are, to know why you do what you do, the reason you do what you do. That's not always easy, because we live in a world where we're taught to escape those feelings.
How has technology like online readings, video calls, and social media changed the way you connect with people energetically?
Oh my gosh. I've got clients all over the world: Australia, Seoul, Korea, Japan, like everywhere, New Zealand. And I love it. It's been a huge game changer. And I wondered, why wasn't I, like, I got endorsed about 10 years ago by Dr. Shafali, who's she's been on Oprah a million times. She's big child psychologist, parenting psychologist. And it was right at the dawning of, when internet started to become really big 10 years ago, and everybody had one, and everybody was, and that's what did it for me. I was able to use Zoom and some of them phone calls and get endorsed, and people could recommend me from anybody they knew in the world. I couldn't have done this 20 years ago like this. It would all have to be local.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless I was on Oprah, and then I'd do phone calls from around the world, but I wasn't. So it makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Are there topics or questions that you feel are off limits in readings, either ethically or spiritually?
Yeah. I won't tell anybody about death, when they're going to die, who's going to die when, and people do ask me about that. And it's ethically, I'm not allowed to. I've not even tried. One person I tried to look into it for, and I kept it to myself. I'm not allowed to do I don't want to do a lot of fear mongering and gloom and doom. I like people to see the good reason why something is challenging their life right now, the way out of why they're struggling in their marriage right now, and how it can improve not only their own lives but the other person's lives. To me, the only reason for this isn't to warn you that your life is going to be terrible for a year and a half. It's to help you not have the most terrible life in the next year and a half, to make the most of it. Why are you going through this?
Right.
And get through it with, 5 stars.
What's the most powerful or emotional experience you've had during a reading?
I would say the most is, there's one child I'm working with right now. She's like 18. And there was another 2 that I worked with, young boys, that were going through a really difficult parental breakup and living with their dad. And they would literally say to their dad, like, I'm not talking to a therapist, I want to talk to Holly. And that even now, it just brings tears to my eyes. The other one is like advanced autistic. She just wants to talk to me. I'm the person that she feels comfortable with. And it's because I can talk to her on the level. It's not a level of up and down, a level of really understanding who they are and not asking a million questions like therapists do. And they don't
Yeah.
want that.
Well, you are Holly Hall, after all.
I am. Thank you.
Holly, do you personally recharge and protect your energy after doing multiple intuitive sessions?
I can only do maximum 4 in a day. I work about 3 days a week, but I do a lot of mini readings in between. Yeah, I do. I tend to get a bit detached, or I know when I can get a little irritable, testy. So it's just like I just need time alone. And my husband's pretty good at that. So he can kind of tell, like, you need time alone. But it really isn't, because working with my clients, it exhilarates me. It's like the best part of my day is working with clients. But it somehow it does drain you. If I do more than 4, it drains me.
Finally, Holly, what message do you want to leave our listeners with today about faith, trust, and following their inner guidance?
I think the biggest lesson I'd like to teach people in this world of division right now is to find out what your triggers are. And if there's something or somebody or some system that you hate or you don't like, or gets you all worked up and you can't even talk about it, like, take a look at, why is that triggering you? Is it abandonment? Is it fear? Is it loss? Is it feeling of being alone or not belonging to a tribe? Just get to know why, and just love people as much as you can. Even if it's your mortal enemy, find a way to love them and let them go. I've done it in my life. Really close people that I've had to let go, but I still love them and I don't hate them. So it can be done. I'm not speaking tongue in cheek. So you got to know what your triggers are. And that's what I love about my job. I can show everybody what they are. There's two sides of a coin. To every trigger, there's a gift. You got to know what that is to turn that trigger into a gift.
And that is a challenge for people. And how do you best see a person, knocking that trigger off or reversing that trigger? Because triggers are one of the most, oh my gosh, hardest things that a person can change. And yet it's very easy for a person to poke at another person's trigger point just to win an argument, or,
Yeah.
it's awful.
Yeah. If you knew what their triggers were, it would be helpful as well. But we're not that transparent with each other. We're not raised to be that way. But observation is the biggest key. Just observe yourself when you're being triggered, and even in that first 3 seconds, just observe between being triggered and reacting to the trigger. And everybody's different. You might actually yell at somebody, or you might go have a cigarette, or you might, slam the door and go into your room. But while you're doing that, what is going on in your body and what is going on in your mind? Just observe when you're doing it. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to know it. You just go like, uh-oh, I'm being triggered right now. I'm grabbing that extra cigarette I probably wouldn't have had. Or I'm going, I'm looking for the bag of chips. Just observe it. I'm being triggered. I don't know why, but I know I am. And that's it. And if you do that over and over and over again, eventually you're going to go, okay, I see a pattern here.
Holly,
and through time,
the time has come when you and I must say so long for now, my dear friend. Let our listeners know how they can find out more about you and how they can contact you for a one-on-one consultation.
Yeah, I have several different types of readings. Like I said, from 15 minutes to 1 hour. It is askhollyhall.com. All my social media is right on that website. My Substack, where you can get 20% off, is on the website. Everything you need is right there.
Holly Hall, thank you so much for joining us. And once again, my very best to your family. And I look forward to the next time you and I meet here in the X Zone.
I do too, Rob. Thank you very much.
Take
I
care,
love it.
Take care, my friend. And that's it for tonight, X Zone Nation. I will be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard, and it's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Every night we're here, Monday through Friday, from 10 p.m. Eastern until midnight on the CanCon Broadcast Network and your hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ AM here in St. Catharines, and they stream us at classic1220.ca. So until tomorrow night, when once again we meet, always remember to keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. Good night, everyone.
Through the darkness, they feel like some